Welcome. We are a mother-daughter podcast about all things surrogacy. Together, we have brought 8 beautiful babies into this world, and we would like to share through education and knowledge about surrogacy with those who want to educate themselves on the topic. This is Stop.Sit.Surrogate. Have you ever thought about growing your family but aren't sure what your options are? Or maybe you're someone who wants to help others experience the joy of parenthood? That's where Northwest Surrogacy Center comes in. Northwest Surrogacy Center is a full-service surrogacy agency that guides intended parents and surrogates through every step of the journey, with compassion, transparency, and personalized care. From matching to legal support to emotional wellness, they make what can feel overwhelming feel deeply human and supported. Whether you're considering surrogacy to grow your family or you're ready to become a surrogate yourself, Northwest Surrogacy Center is there to walk beside you every step of the way. Visit northwestsurrogacycenter.com. That's nwsurrogacycenter.com to learn more and take the first step towards something truly life-changing. Northwest Surrogacy Center. Love makes families. Surrogacy makes babies. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen.
Hey, everybody.
We are here today with a fabulous surrogate, so we're going to let her introduce herself. Take it away.
My name is Lindsay. I am a experienced surrogate. I live in North Carolina. I am a mom, a wife. I have all kinds of fun things going on. And so I'm actually on my second journey. So I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Oh, how exciting. Ooh, I have questions about that. We'll jump into that in a bit. But
Absolutely.
one of the most fun questions that we always ask is like, how did you find out about surrogacy?
So we actually had some friends of ours who were struggling with fertility, and I was like, hey, I will help research all the things for you guys. And I stumbled upon all kinds of surrogate reviews, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I had told my husband, like, I want another baby. But in reality, like, I wanted to be pregnant. Like, I had easy pregnancies, easy deliveries. So I was like, I wanted to be pregnant. And I was like, what do you think about this? And he was like, that's your body. That's your choice. I will support it 100%. But if you choose to do it, I'm here for it. And so, right, we love a supportive king.
I love
them
who say that. It's your body, your decision.
Yeah.
Hello. Yay. Applaud.
Yes.
Back in my day,
nope. No.
Different times.
And
I know.
I will say that answer from him kind of shocked me, not because I thought he was going to be negative about it. I just figured there would be more questions before he was like, hey, okay, yeah, I'm here for it. But
Right.
yeah, so I started doing more research, and then I stumbled upon my agency, and I told him all the things, and here we are.
Wow. Oh my gosh, how
exciting.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So stumbling upon the agency, did you find them like via social media or like a Google search?
So I found them on a Google search, and then
Okay.
I deep dove into their socials. I actually joined their Facebook group just to kind of stalk them out to see what the hype was. And then after kind of being quiet in the Facebook group for a little bit, I took one of their quizzes because, you've got to take the quiz to see if you qualify. And I did. I got the big, bright, you would be a great surrogate. And I got an email, and I sat there and it sat there and it sat there for a hot minute. And I was like, you know what? If this is for me, I'll have a sign. Like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I'll have a sign. And like 2 weeks later, I got another email, like, we're waiting to hear from you. And I was like, okay, all right, here we go.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. How fun.
And you said your second journey. Are you on the same agency, both journeys?
Yep, I stuck with the same agency.
Nice. A lot of times that's a little easier. If you're comfortable with them, it's just easier. They have everything. They know who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and too, when I found them, they weren't even like an agency yet. They were kind of like a hub.
Yeah.
So they found surrogates, and they kind of found other agencies.
Right.
And when I decided that it was something that I wanted to do, actually, they were just now offering agency. So I took one of their first offers that they offered as the actual agency. So that was super excited to see them grow from like kind of like a hub for other agencies to like an agency themselves. So it's been exciting to watch them.
Yeah, it has.
Yes.
It has.
Super fun.
So when you were like in the beginning of the journey and everything, did you already have like a list? Did you do research on things that you were like, yes, this is what I want in my journey? Or were you like just like, you know what, I'm a first time surrogate. I will do whatever comes at me or whatever speaks to me and like we'll go from there and just like tackle it as it
Like a
comes.
wish list of
Yeah.
what you were looking.
I'm okay, yeah. So I knew I kind of had some like hard stops. I knew I
Okay.
did not want it to feel like a business transaction.
Mhm.
Um, I knew so Surrogacy is the agency that I'm with. And when I first had my matching, one came across that was interested in my profile, but it was like an NDA. And to me, that was kind of like I don't want anything to do with that. I really need to at least know these people, know about them, know where this baby is going. Because yes, at the end of the day, this is not my baby. But I am growing this baby for you, and I just
Right.
need to at least know that you are a decent person, and this baby's going to have a good life and going to be taken care of. So I did want some kind of relationship, at least during the journey. If the family didn't want one afterwards, that's kind of I would honor that. But yeah, definitely no NDAs, and I just didn't want it to feel like a business transaction. I wanted it to feel like good on my end. I wanted it to feel like I was doing something good, but not something like backdoor.
Yeah,
If that
no,
makes sense.
it
Yeah,
makes total
makes
sense.
100%. Yeah.
One
And were
of
you,
my
yeah.
journeys was an NDA, and it was
Mhm.
my least favorite out
Mm.
of all of
Yeah.
them. But
Mhm.
it's not just because it was an NDA, it was just because of like the people itself. But that is an often thing that I see, especially nowadays, where it's like all these celebrities are coming out and being like, "Oh, I was a surrogate," and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I would love to be a surrogate for our Kardashian," and it's like, I really
Mm,
highly doubt they have a relationship
Yeah.
afterwards because
exactly.
unfortunately those do tend to seem a little bit more businessy the way
Yeah.
that Khloe
Hmm.
Kardashian put it. So,
Yeah. Well, and when the match coordinator was explaining it to me, she was like, "You won't see these people delivery day, nothing." And I was like,
oh,
What?
you're kidding.
Complete and
mm-mm.
like nothing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wait, so
And I
did
was
you not
like,
even know like so
I didn't know
who they
she.
really were?
Well, and that's the thing. Like before it even made it to me, she was like, I had already said that this was not going to be a good match for you because she just knew where I stood. But
Yeah.
she was like, Lindsay, you wouldn't have known anything about these people.
Okay.
And I was like, nope, couldn't be me.
Yeah.
Could not
Yeah.
be me.
No, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's high
That's
profile person. Yeah. Has to be.
super
And
high
well, that's
profile.
all she could tell me was it was political or someone of high standing. And
There
I
you
was
go.
like, yeah, no, that's definitely not.
For
Can't,
Yeah.
you.
sorry.
Yeah.
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 And like I love that there are women who can do that, and there's nothing wrong with
Right.
that. If that
No,
is
Yeah.
if that
for sure.
works for you, that's fabulous because there has to be surrogates for those type of situations.
Correct.
Yes.
But
Right.
I just knew for me, like that was just gonna be where I just couldn't. I needed to know,
Yeah.
at least know this baby was going somewhere safe and was
Yeah.
going to be taken care of.
For
Mhm.
sure. For
No,
sure.
Yeah,
I get that. I
So that was the first match they offered you? That one?
that was the first match that came across. I didn't really get the offer. It was more like we had this offer, but
read a
we just knew that it
profile.
wasn't going to be a good fit.
Got
Okay.
it.
But then the second offer that I got for that journey, we matched, and that was my family, and they were fabulous.
I love it.
Aw,
I
how
love it.
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah.
So did that process was like were like the beginning stages like kind of quick? So like when did you find the agency to like time of matching? Do you
Matching.
know? Or like
Right.
roughly?
So I signed my contract. I got dates for you.
I love when you guys
Yay.
come prepared. Be like, I got receipts.
Love
You
it.
signed on with the Surrogacy is August 24th, and then I actually had my match call November 11th. So it
Okay.
wasn't super
Wow.
fast, but it wasn't super slow either.
No,
No,
that's
3 months
pretty
is
quick
good.
though.
That's good.
Right.
First time surrogate? Yes. That's
And that's
nice.
at
Yeah.
first I was like, oh my gracious, this is taking forever. But looking in the Facebook group, like there were women who had been like a year or two in and they
Mm-hmm.
still
Yeah.
hadn't been matched. So I was like, okay, well maybe this is kind of on the fast track of things. So, and then that to me was a second, like, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's happening fast. There's no hard stops. Like, this is definitely where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Did this family have any other children, or was this their first go at having a?
This was the first child for them, first grandchild on both families' sides. So it was a big deal. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Wow.
That's really sweet.
And one more, were they local or international?
They were in New York, so kind of local, but
that's cool.
I got to sit when I went for my medical clearance the first time. I was in Times Square right before New Year's Eve, so I got to see all the lights and all the it was amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, cool. You're living my dream.
Yeah, that's
dream.
Cool. That's cool.
Oh, cool. Oh my God. I'm going to like pull you aside and talk to you about that later because I got to know all the details.
Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, my second journey, like I told you, I just got back from California last week. So,
wow. Oh my gosh, that's right.
Look at you, both coasts. Love it.
Both coasts.
That's fun.
Last week. Oh, did you get the beautiful weather? Wait a minute.
Yeah. It was actually cooler there than it was here at home.
Okay, it was the week before. I think we had 80s. Okay, we just had like hurricane weather last night, so ridiculous for us, but it was crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know how to handle.
I thought that I was escaping our cold, snowy that we got here, but it was not.
Yeah, California is a mind of its own.
So this isn't a repeat journey, right? This is somebody new, a new family.
This is a new family. This is an international family.
Oh,
but their clinic is in California.
Their clinic is in California. They are from Dublin, Ireland.
I love it.
Dublin? Yes. That's so cool. Okay, so
never heard one from Dublin.
There's not like a real hard translation. Right?
It's just a really thick accent.
Yeah.
Just a really thick accent that is beautiful, and I love it.
Awesome.
Our only kind of really, if you call it, our difficulty is we use the WhatsApp app to text back and forth. Mm-hmm. And literally, let's see, right now I have to keep a clock on my phone for them. It's literally, it is 12:48
in the morning.
In the morning for them.
Yep. There you go.
Okay. We'll all wake up to random texts at random times because our time difference is so different, but we make it work and they're fabulous.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to your first journey. So, when is transfer?
Yeah.
If you transfer was so we matched the 11th of November. Our first transfer was that following June. So June of 2020.
That's
long.
Yeah, it was super long, and I think it was a lot to do with like holidays. They traveled a lot, like they did a lot of international travel, so we had to work around dates for them and stuff. And then legal really kind of hit us. Legal was kind of like we have really picked up speed and then we drug our feet.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our hard stop. But yeah, we transferred in June of 2024. And then that transfer failed. So we had to do another cycle of meds. Mm-hmm. And then we did our second transfer in July of 2025. And that one stuck.
Wait, July of 2020?
July of 2024.
Okay.
I was like, whoa.
Like, dear God. Okay. That's fast. June, the first one, and July, the second one. Look at that. And that one stuck.
Yeah. That one stuck. And he was born April of last year.
Okay. He's not even a year old?
Not even a year old yet.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, okay, real quick, because we always kind of skip over this. Do you remember meds? Like, were you a lot of injections, or did you kind of just get like the bucket load of different things?
I had a lot of injections. I had the Lupron, of course, in your belly, and then I had the progesterone, and those were the worst. I feel like I was so lucky that my mother-in-law did my injections for me.
That was sweet.
And the one time I had to do them on my own because I went to New York, and my sister-in-law, who is a pharmacy tech, does not do needles.
Aww.
So here I am standing in New York, and I'm like, okay. And that injection was the worst injection of my whole journey, but it was okay. We made it through. Aww. But yeah, it was a lot of injections, and it was a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It is a lot.
People don't realize it's kind of like a second time job. Like, it's a second job in itself, keeping up with dates and medicines and travel and things.
Is. I mean, it is, and that's why, rightfully
Yeah.
so, we should be compensated for that and much
Right.
more.
Right.
But
Yes.
yeah, because
you're
it
donating
is
your
a
body.
full-time, it's a full-time job. It's like, I think one time we did the Math Mom and it was like working at McDonald's. Like it was like for like a first-time surrogate,
before the raise went up. Yeah. Before,
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
Working at McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
exactly.
Full time.
Mhm.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Crazy.
Right. No thanks.
I mean, it works for some, but I'd rather, just carry the baby.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Well, and
So-
you had extra medication because you had to do 2 transfers. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
a lot.
And a lot of people don't realize, because I didn't know before I was a surrogate, that that's common. Like a failed first transfer is very common. Because I know I was very, and I still have, very open on my social medias about my journeys. I vlog a lot of my stuff. And so when I was open about our failed transfer, it was like, well, what did you do wrong?
People came back and said that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
What could you have done differently? And I was like, it's there. And I honestly had the same question the first time, because I had to fly home the same day of my transfer because of my kiddos. And I was like, if I would have just stayed one more day and rested.
No, it wouldn't have mattered.
I only thought that way for a few hours after we got the news. But then I was like, you know what? The human body is its own mind, and failed transfers are very common. And it's nothing that I did wrong. The doctor, they did nothing.
That little boy was meant to be here for those parents. That little boy.
Yes.
That one.
Right.
Yes, he was.
And it's not just like the human body. It's like, it's still science. Like it's still, I hate to say that IVF is still a gamble, but it still is. Like it's not 100% guarantee. If it was, everybody would be doing IVF like tomorrow. It'd be like, oh great, like I want a baby and that's just gonna be my first choice. Like it's just, there's just so much. Because I had my first failed transfer and that was my 4th journey.
Yeah.
And every transfer I did before that took on the first time. And I still ask myself, like, should I have not done the laundry? Like, should I have not done this? Like, and like, but I stayed in the hotel. I was on bed rest. Like, but there was just things that like run through your mind, even if you're educated to like the max. It's like, but I could have done something different, right? Like, and it would have, but it's like, no, it's science.
It 100%.
Just sucks. Yeah.
And I think that thought will always be with a surrogate. Like you said, regardless, like, that it wasn't anything that you done, but it's still like, could I have drank another bottle of water? Could I eat more pineapple? Like all of the things that they tell you to do, like the little tricks. But at the end of the day, like you said, it is science. And I think that's a lot of things that people don't realize going into IVF is not like, okay, you're going to do IVF and you're going to have this baby. Like, there's a lot more behind it. And I think a lot of people don't take the time to educate themselves on IVF. They just think it's like a get pregnant quick thing.
Yeah.
And then you end up with a lot of heartbroken people who are really guaranteeing and putting all their eggs in one basket for this is going to work.
Yep.
And then it doesn't.
The expectations are too high. They just have to go in with just clear heads and see what happens and just let science do its job, really. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's going to not. And these days it works more often than it doesn't. So this is true. There's a positive there versus like a decade or 2 decades ago. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so how does your pregnancy go?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Yeah.
I was so sick.
Well, can we back up a little? Were you sick with any of your 3 pregnancies of your children?
So I only have 2 that I carried. I have a bonus son as my oldest.
Okay,
you're fine. Okay. But my 2 girls, I was never sick. I never had any kind of morning sickness. Nothing. Wow. So when I got pregnant with surrogate baby, I was like, you know what, this is different. This is different. And everybody was like, well, you're older, you had your girls when you were younger. And I'm like, that probably did play a factor in it, but let's think about all the medications that I am putting into my body, and all the extra hormones that are running through my body, and all the extra things that my body's like, lady, what are we doing? We have no clue what's going on. We're trying to catch up over here.
So funny.
But yeah, that one kind of threw me for a loop, because it was well into my 2nd trimester that I was still very sick.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it was worth it. And like, to me, my thought process was, if I'm sick, I know everything's okay. If
Yeah.
I'm sick, I know everything's
Yeah.
good. If I'm
Yeah.
sick, I know
Right.
we're okay. So I kind of took the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bright side of it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Aw.
Oh, I'm so
How are your kids with all of this? Like,
How old were they?
yeah.
So my oldest one was 8, about to be 9 when we started, and
Okay.
our little one was 3, about to be 4 when we started.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, and it was very much, we were very open, we were honest, the best I knew to be, honestly, because how do you explain that to a 3-year-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, my oldest daughter, my bonus son, he was just like, okay, that's kind of weird,
Right,
but
like
okay,
whatever.
like whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Funny.
my oldest daughter, she was my biggest cheerleader.
Oh.
She was phenomenal with how she explained it, because my youngest one was asking questions, and I'm like, I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
And so sitting there one day, my oldest daughter was like, Mommy, they're the bakers and you're the oven. Like that's just that
Oh,
makes more sense. And I was like, Henley, you know what? That makes perfect sense.
yes.
That's
So
cute.
And
cute.
our little one was great with it. She loved it until the end of my pregnancy, and my belly was so big that she could no longer snuggle. And
Oh,
she was like, he can come out and go to New York anytime. I'm ready for him to go to his parents. I'm done.
I
Yeah,
love it.
sure. I get that.
That's too sweet. Too
That's
sweet.
cute. Oh, that's so
But
sweet.
she loves it because we still get pictures of him, and she's
Yeah.
always like,
Oh.
I know who that is, and she calls him by name, and she's like, ask about him and his parents, and just she
Oh.
wants to know all the things, but is happy that he is in New York and he is not coming back here.
Yes.
Right. Oh, how funny.
And the
How
rest
Yes,
of your family, did they support? Well, your mother-in-law gave you your shot, so obviously that side's supporting, but
yes.
everybody else?
Um, they were all supportive. I think it took a little explaining and
sure.
educating. My mom, she was just more worried about me because she didn't understand that it was not gonna be my egg. They had an egg
Okay.
donor, they had embryos,
Yeah.
so they had, I was just literally carrying this baby.
Right.
Um, my grandma, she still kind of has a hard time with it, but
Oh,
she's also that generation of, you didn't talk about things like that. You didn't talk about
Right.
your
right.
personal business. So she really struggles with the fact that I put it out on social media for people, because she's
Oh,
like, people are not nice, and people don't, they think that you're giving your baby away. And I'm like, and I'm sure there are a lot of people
Yeah.
who think that, but that's why I want to educate people and
Right.
let them know
right.
that that is not what surrogates are doing. We're not baby factories over here producing our own children and just giving them to random people.
Right.
Um, but my dad, he was really excited because um, it was something new, and I think watching his daughter do something so selfless for
Oh,
someone who we didn't even know,
love
that
you, Dad.
was he was I mean, he came up to the hospital. He saw, like, they and like when we would go to New York, like I took my mom, so they met the family. So all of my family had knew the intended parents.
Yeah.
And but it was really special for my dad. Like it was really watching him
Oh, I've never
meet
heard
them.
that, like that take on it. That's really
Yeah,
beautiful.
Mhm.
It
that
really
is
is.
so sweet.
Super
It
sweet.
was it was really, and I was super worried at first. I didn't know if I was going to be open on social media. But I told my husband, I was like, I have to do something, because I can't just show up with a stomach one day and people are like, "Oh, you guys are having another baby," and then be like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
no, not really."
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Aw.
but watching my girls, like even my girls, like I did a video on a TikTok video of my youngest one now. She's 5. And I was like, how did it make you feel when you that mommy was a surrogate? And she was just like proud. And to hear your 5-year-old say that, that was just
Yeah.
like,
Gosh.
oh, okay.
So sweet. Oh my
It's so
Yeah.
gosh.
sweet.
It's
Yeah.
Kids, especially like kids of like a surrogate, they understand more than adults. And it's just
Yeah.
like, can we all take the adults back to kindergarten and
Mm,
Right.
explain why this is all okay and accepting and like does not affect anyone mentally or
Right.
physically? Like kids are great. Like I love
because they
that.
don't they don't have those preconceived notions. They're
Right.
taught, and their families are open, and it's like I'm sure your grandma, I love your grandma, but I can understand where she's coming from, because any of my elder relatives, unfortunately, who aren't here, would have thought the same thing. Could not understand it, could not grasp it, because you don't talk about that.
Right.
Yeah. The
Right.
kids, they're open. Heck
Oh
yeah.
yeah, and they're so resilient with things. If you're open and explain them in a way that they understand,
Yeah.
they're more like, oh, okay, so you're helping a family that can't have kids, and you love me, and you're a great mommy to me, and this baby's going to go to this family, and they're going to have great parents that love them like you love me. Like, okay, that's great.
And it normalizes the whole thing.
Yes,
it should be.
And I think that's where I was super. I wanted to be so very open with my kids from the beginning and not get further into the journey and be like, oh, okay, well, mommy's pregnant now, and but this baby isn't mine. And the intended parents were phenomenal. For Christmas, they sent the girls books about the kangaroo pouch and stuff like that. So we kept them so just involved in everything that we could. I think it was just at that point it was normal to them. They just knew like, okay, mommy's gonna have this baby, and then it's gonna go to their parents.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Normal.
Yeah.
It's everyday normal.
Yeah. Exactly.
So do you deliver in New York or North Carolina?
In North Carolina.
Okay. So they come to you. Yeah.
I did all of my like medical clearance and of course like the transfer in New York, and then everything else was here. So
good.
We actually were induced a week earlier with him because I had a little bit of hypertension. And at that point they were just like, we're super close, we're going to go ahead. And then so my husband's frantically calling like, you guys need to get on a plane now. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to fly out at 8 in the morning. And we were like,
no, not then. Now.
Now.
Oh my gosh.
Funny.
So they weren't even here. Like, I know it's not that long to get here, but it was a week away and they still weren't here yet. Okay.
Yeah. So they were planning to be here the following week because that was when we were being induced.
Okay.
And I went into the doctor and they're like, you got a little bit of a high blood pressure, not anything to be super worried about, but just watch it over the weekend. And I think that stress sent my body into a like, oh goodness, kind of
we're ready now.
Right.
Yeah. And so I had 1 high blood pressure, and I get to the hospital and they're monitoring my blood pressure, and they're like, oh, we're going to have to send you home. You don't have any high blood pressure. This is after the midwife has already told me that they're going to keep me. They're inducing me. My husband's called these parents and they're getting on this flight, and they're like, okay, we're going to send you home. And that shot my blood pressure up. And she was like, okay, well, never mind. We're going to go ahead and keep you.
Oh my gosh, how funny.
He was ready.
Gosh. Yeah.
Oh, he was so ready.
So then what?
Yeah, they made it.
Yes, they made it. Both sets of grandparents made it. Unbeknownst to me, everyone was in my delivery room, and I had no clue, which was fine. The grandparents stood behind the curtain, you know, the curtain between the room and the door.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my midwife was like, "How's my crowd behind the curtain?" And I'm like, what? Who?
You had no idea, Lindsay?
But I had already told the parents, like, whoever wanted to be in the room, they're more than welcome to be in the room. But when the doctor was like, all right, everybody kind of get out, it's time, I just assumed that they were completely out of the room. But they weren't. They were just standing between the curtain and the door.
Love it.
Oh, how
That's
funny.
Awesome. That's super special. Yeah.
What week were you when you delivered?
I was 39. 39. 39. Even, because they were going to induce me at 38. No, pause. I was 38 and 4 when they induced me.
Okay.
So they were going to originally induce me at 39, but we didn't make it to 39.
Got it.
But
I am shocked that your IPs were not there. Granted, I had international parents, so they were here at like 36 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
But like that's
yeah, kind of close.
Gambling it.
That was, I was super, super panicked because I'm like, I know how fast my deliveries are.
Okay.
So I'm like, if my water breaks and you guys aren't here, like you're missing it. Like
for sure.
There's no way, like we're not crossing legs. Like there's no stopping it when it starts. Like
right.
So I was already super stressed about that.
Yeah.
And then I was texting my journey coordinator. I'm like, they're being really quiet. I don't like, I'm starting to panic. I don't know what's going on. And so when I called her, I was like, hey, I'm on the way to the hospital now. Like, they're probably going to keep me.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, well, I'll go ahead and tell you now. They hadn't been really texting much because someone's sick and they didn't want to stress you. And I was like,
Oh, oh,
like, that's okay, but they're probably gonna have to get here sooner rather than later.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was super stressed. But going into my second journey, like hearing that they're gonna be here weeks prior is
Right.
so different. But
Yes.
being international, like I completely get that. But yeah, even though New York is close, like that's you're
Yeah.
dancing with fire when you kind of get there and you're like, okay, you
Because
guys
you
can
still have to
come.
wait for an airline, a plane. I mean, if you don't have your own jet, you can come in. So gotta wait.
We'll be right back. But first, I want to take a quick moment to talk about something close to my heart, helping families grow through surrogacy. If you've ever thought about becoming a surrogate, or if you're an intended parent ready to start your journey, Paying It Forward Surrogacy is here to guide you every step of the way. At Paying It Forward Surrogacy, you're not just a number. You're supported, celebrated, and connected with real people who've walked this path before. Whether you're just starting to explore or ready to take the next step, they'll make sure you feel informed, empowered, and cared for from day one. Visit payingitforwardsurrogacy.com to learn more. That's payingitforwardsurrogacy.com, because every journey to parenthood deserves heart, honesty, and the right support. Now let's get back to the episode.
Yeah.
So they all make it, and are they all, well, let's ask two questions. How long's the labor, and were they all in the room when you delivered?
So they induced me. They started my Pitocin Sunday night at like 9:30. The parents got there at 10:30, so they were only an hour after my Pitocin started.
Awesome.
I'm not sure when grandparents arrived, but he came 6:45 Monday night. So
okay, so
a pretty long, pretty long for me, pretty long labor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everyone was there.
In the room.
Grandpa, grandma, everyone was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really
they
cool.
all like cheer when baby like cried. Were they all like, ah, like, or was it like, no?
You could, they were trying to be quiet, but you could hear like, oh, like the ohs and the tears. And it was funny because at first they were both like, I don't know if we want to cut the cord, and we definitely don't want to watch, because I did carry for a same-sex couple. And so they were very much like, I don't think we want to watch. And I'm like, this is your birthing space. Like, I'm birthing, but this is your birthing space. Like, whatever you guys are comfortable with. So they kind of stood back, and my husband was coaching, like, I can see his head, like he's almost here. And the more he coached, the closer they would get. So finally they ended up right beside my husband, and they watched him be delivered. One of them cut the cord, so they were very much involved, which again, I told them, I was like, you guys have to be there. Like, you don't get that first cry, you don't get that moment back. And as a mom, like, if I were not able to be awake for any of my births, I feel like that would be like something that I would have really just been upset that I had to miss. So I was so happy that they stayed and they were involved, and my husband was a little cheerleader down there just rooting them on and getting them to be involved.
Oh, sweet.
So does everybody stay in the room when it's like skin to skin time? Like, do you get a kind of chill?
So I got a chill as soon as he was born. They kind of put him in his little incubator and rolled him next door, because they literally had a room right beside ours.
Okay.
Yeah. So they got to go and have their own skin to skin. They took turns coming in and checking in on me, making sure we didn't need anything. They were asking, can we order you guys any food? And I was like, I really just want a nap.
Yeah, that's a long labor. You need some sleep.
They were awesome. They came and got my dad and let my dad go see him and meet the baby and all of that. And then I got my own room, and we all slept that night. I did pump while we were in the hospital, so I pumped for him while we were in the hospital. So I was up doing that every few hours, and then making sure he got his milk. And then the day that I was discharged, because I went home a day before he did.
Okay.
my husband brought our girls up there and they got to meet him and we got to see him for the first time, and they gave my girls gifts from the baby. It was
Oh,
precious.
that's sweet.
It
Did
was
did you
precious.
and your family get any alone time with the baby, or did you just was it with the intended parents? It was all
Just
together.
with the intended parents.
Okay.
Yep. That was
Okay.
definitely, and we left it up to them. Like
Mhm.
if they didn't want us to see him before but it was one of those things where like, absolutely, we want you to meet him and see him and all the things. But yeah, it was with them.
Okay.
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
that's
totally.
sweet. That's
And
really
your
sweet.
daughters how
Yeah.
did they feel when they met baby boy?
They were super excited. I
Oh,
think they were more excited to see him than they were me.
Aw.
that's cute.
Really.
They just doted on him, and they were just, I think my 4-year-old finally realized, like, oh, this was a human that
Oh.
was in my mommy's belly, and now he is here. Because
Yeah.
we left and she was like, he's still at the hospital, and I was like, yeah, remember. And she was like, oh, that's right, he's going back to New York. And then
Oh.
it was like, can I sleep with you tonight?
Oh,
Aw,
so sweet.
sweet. Excited to have mom back now that she doesn't have that belly.
100%.
So cute. Oh my
Did they
gosh.
have to stay in North Carolina for a little while? Could they just go when they got discharged? Could they leave
So
home?
if I'm not mistaken, they stayed. So they stayed a day after I did in the hospital,
Yeah.
and then they had to wait for his birth certificate and stuff. So they were here for a few days,
Okay.
and then they chartered a plane out
Oh,
back
nice.
home.
Nice.
Yeah,
Few days
yep.
isn't that bad to get a birth certificate. That's not,
Mm-mm.
yeah,
It really wasn't.
that's
So
great.
yeah, they stayed here, and I actually had to go back to the hospital because they forgot to get my signature on
Oh,
removing me off of the birth certificate.
oh no.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh
Yikes.
gosh.
So
Oh,
yeah, we live an hour from the hospital, and they were like, we
Oh,
need to come back.
oh,
that's
oh,
far.
God.
I was like, okay, why? They're
Yeah.
like, we didn't get your signature to say that this baby is not your baby.
You would think that'd be the first thing they do, but all right,
Right,
it's fine. Everybody's
right.
excited. Oh my
Well, and
goodness.
it was so, you could tell, like, our nursing team, they were all fabulous. They were
Yeah.
amazing, but you could tell it was a situation that they didn't know, like,
Oh, okay.
who do we ask for
Oh,
things? And I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
anything me related, me.
yeah.
Anything baby related, them.
Am.
And then that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
And I did have to remind one nurse, and you could tell, like, she
Oh,
realized really fast because she was like, all right, mom. And I was like,
yeah.
no.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
She's
just
like,
so used to it.
afterwards she came there, she was like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, you're fine. I was like, I was more protecting them than
Yes.
it didn't bother me at all. I kind
Right.
of had prepared myself for something of that, but I was
Yeah.
like, I was more so protecting them. I didn't want them to feel like this was not about them.
Yeah.
Right.
um but everyone was very much, they didn't know what to do or how to handle the situation. So it was
So
it
cute.
was funny, but it was one of those things I was like, oh, you guys could have, checked the paperwork before you released me.
Right.
Yeah, right,
Did you
exactly.
continue to pump, Lindsay, or did you and send it, or no? Just in the
So
hospital.
I'm a overproducer,
Nice.
majorly overproducer, but they didn't want the milk shipped to them. So I pumped for, I want to say, 2 or 3 months. And a friend of ours had a baby and she couldn't produce milk, so I just donated milk to her.
Sweet.
I posted about it on a mom's group, and there was a lady who had a baby who had some medical things going on.
Yeah.
And so we donated to them. And
Aw.
then it was just, at that point, it just kind of felt like work. And I was like, I think I'm done.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
very sweet. Oh my gosh,
So
that's very
sweet.
sweet. Very, very kind of you.
Yeah, that's a
Well, thank
lot.
you.
'Cause that's a lot. It's like
Yeah.
having a newborn. You're pumping. I mean, you're pumping, you're washing parts. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a
Waking up
lot.
in the middle
Yeah.
of the
And
night.
my husband was like, is it really worth it? Like, and
Oh,
I'm like, it is helping others. But at that point, I think I was just stressing myself out
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
point I was like, this is not fun no more. I don't
Yeah.
want to do this anymore.
Good.
Right. And you don't have to.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So like
Exactly.
why continue? Yeah, no, I get that.
And then
Hmm.
post birth for you, like first time surrogate, like good? Did Was there a loss?
Um,
Not a loss, but
so
you know, it was your part
my
of your life.
husband was
Yeah. for such a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah.
So my husband was a little bit worried because with our little one, I did have postpartum anxiety because she was born during COVID. Everything was just so out of the normal.
Yeah.
So he was like, that was his only, like, I'm really just worried about you afterwards.
Aw.
And I wasn't sure, honestly, how I was going to take it because you don't know until you're there, and you can say that you're going to act one way, and you don't really know. But to me, I was very fortunate that my job gave me my maternity leave, so I still had my maternity leave. And I just put all that time back into my kids and our marriage. I was taking my girls to the water park during the week, during summer, and it was right there around my maternity leave fell around my birthday. So me and my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my mom took a girls' weekend to the beach and just went and had fun. So I think being able to really just focus on me and my kids and my husband and do things around our house, because we were actually moving into my husband's grandparents' homestead that we had remodeled. So I was able just to focus all my time on that, and I wasn't having to wake up with a baby every so hours. I was able to get sleep. So it was a lot better than I had really anticipated and prepared myself for.
Good.
Yeah, the postpartum after a surrogate baby is, I don't want to say blissful, but compared to like having your own, blissful. Like,
Yeah.
because it's just,
Can be,
yes, you do have like that's still like that hormone drop, but it's not like with sleep deprivation and like all the things that come with a newborn. So
Exactly.
it's more so like, let me get my mental health
Kind of
back on
figure out
track
a whole nother
and
human on top of all that.
feel
You're like, what?
normal again.
Yeah. And that was a nice thing because now, granted, I still had to take care of my kids, but it was more
Right.
like, okay, how am I doing? Like, where am I at? What's going on with me? And surrogacy is phenomenal where they offer, therapists. So we still had therapists so far out of your postpartum that they checked in
Super
monthly.
nice.
And if you felt like you were struggling, like you still could, reach out to them, like, hey, I need a meeting. And then just sunshine in them at surrogacy is anyway, they're phenomenal. You don't see many owners of an agency that will chat with you or just reach out and talk to you. So you have a huge support group there. But yeah, like you said, just being able to stay in tune with my emotions and not be like, okay, am I feeling this way because I don't have sleep, or am I feeling this way because something is wrong and I need to talk to someone?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how quickly after you delivered surrogate baby one, did you say, I'm doing this again? Remember?
So I do. I remember it vividly. I had just got released from the hospital,
Oh
and
my gosh.
we
We
were
hear this
pulling
all
into
the time. Yep.
Yeah, we were pulling into the driveway, and my journey coordinator called, just checking in on me, and I was like, "So, am I going to be able to do another journey since I had this quote unquote hypertension? Like, I need you to find out, like, does this stop me?"
Love
And she
it.
was like, I've actually already asked because I knew that you were going to be one of those.
Oh my God. That's
So yeah,
hilarious.
I looked at my husband, I was like, I'm doing this again.
Okay.
Because it's just a feeling that you can't explain. Like watching someone
Become a
see
parent.
their baby for the first time, knowing that without you in that equation, that this would have possibly never happened for them.
Right.
It's kind of like an outer body experience, and you really can't put words to it. And it was,
such a
my
high.
mind was like, it was, and my mind was like, if this was ever me, I would want someone to be so selfless that they loved me that they had never met before enough to be like, you know what, I want to do this for you.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it was the day that I was released from the hospital. I was like, I'm ready to do this again.
I love that. Oh my, was your family ready for you to do it again?
My girls were like, but really, are you, Mom? Especially my oldest one. She was like, but are you? And my husband was like, you know what?
Oh my God.
Okay. My mom was more like, maybe we should make sure you don't have postpartum.
Aww.
Or like you're okay. And I'm like, oh no, I'm good. Like I know that this is what I need to do.
There you go.
There you go. I love that. It is it's like a euphoria feeling. Like it
and
just,
so, yeah. And so are you 10 months postpartum? You said April, right? No? Okay. So that was kind of fast. Like you're matched already. Wow.
Oh, I matched. So I did my intake to come back June 11th. and we matched.
On 2 months.
Wait, you gave birth in April. You did your intake to come back in June?
Yeah.
It's like that's like when your maternity leave ends.
Hello. Wow.
That was when they told me my doctor would give me my clearance letter.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I adore you.
That's impressive. You go, girl. Okay.
I was like, listen, I was counting down days. I knew when my window started, and I was like, I need to be in this window.
I love it.
Because you never know. Like,
Yeah.
in my mindset was like, my second journey might not be as fast as my first journey
Right.
was.
You just never know.
So I wanted to go ahead and have everything. Sure. I definitely was not expected to have a match call October 30th, but we had our match call October 30th. And I was used to
6
the
months.
whole
6.
Yeah.
6 months. We're counting. We're both counting on our fingers.
Yeah.
6 months.
How many? Yep.
Yeah, like, are you cleared? Can you like do it? Can you do a transfer right away? Like, yeah.
Well, and it was funny because I had my IUD, and then they were like, well, you need to go ahead and have that taken out just in case, like, in case the clinic want so many, cycles without an IUD. So I go back to my OB, and she was like, you're not even 6 months. And I was like,
Yikes.
She was like, I will not approve this until you're at least a year postpartum. And I was like, and I get that. I get that, but can we take it out?
Yeah.
And you say that I am able to carry again, just knowing that we're going to push for that year mark. I said, because I don't know how long all of this is going to take in the background, even with matching. Then you got to do the medical clearance, and then you got to do legal. So I was trying to explain it to her, and she was like, I just want you to remember, you're only 6 months. And I was like, I know, I was there.
Yeah, right. I got you. Yeah. You're just trying to be proactive and get all the ducks in a row, because it can take a while. It can. Yeah.
And
so good for you.
My thought process was, I can't be as lucky as I was my first time for everything just to be as smooth. But I was definitely wrong. Because we did our match call October 30th, and so I just assumed it would be like my first journey. They give you that 24-hour window afterwards for both families to agree. And we're sitting on our match call, and it's wrapping up, and the husband's like, well, we don't need 24 hours. We want a match now. And I was like, oh, okay, sweet. I'm looking at my husband, and I'm like, and I knew in my gut, like, you just have that feeling.
Yeah,
and
you do.
People are like, how do you know? And I'm like, you just know.
You just know.
And they're like, but how? And I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. You just know.
Yeah. It's like when you go on that first date with like a person that you're dating or whatever. And then it's like, I mean, this is like such a weird analogy, but then it's like, oh no, that's the pull. I got it. Like, we're going to go on another one. Like, there's a
connection that's made.
There was.
Some type of connection.
We had so many similarities in the things that we enjoyed and stuff. And my biggest thing is what my husband's career. He's law enforcement. And that's something hard for some people, because that puts kind of like a target on our family, just depending. And so I was very vocal with both of our, journeys. Like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I know I don't have to disclose this, but this is what my husband does for a living. Because I need you to be aware so it doesn't become an issue later. So I was just like, when he started talking, we don't need time, I was like, this man's gonna tell me like they don't want to match with us. And my stomach had already dropped, because I had just felt such a pull to them. So when he said it, I looked at my husband, I was like, I don't need a 24 hours either. What about you? And he was like, nope, I don't either. So our journey coordinator was like, I've never been on a call where they actually matched on the call. So it was super cool. We loved it.
That's fun.
That's
that
awesome.
Is fun. Yes. So do you have a transfer date, or are you still doing legal and stuff?
So just doing legal. They're wanting, so this journey, we're doing a mock cycle. I've never done a mock cycle before, so it's a little different than our first one. So like I said, I flew out last Monday to California. My medical clearance was on Tuesday. And then we flew home Tuesday night, and then they had to wait for my blood results. My husband had to do blood work, because a lot of people don't understand, well, why does your husband have to go do blood work?
STDs and stuff, make sure. And all
yes, and I'm like, if he has anything that I can get, they give the baby. So that was really a big, people were really hung up on that when I was explaining that. Like, well, that don't make sense. What's he got to do with it until you explain it?
Right.
But so they did that, and so now we're just kind of waiting on his blood work to get back. And then since we are doing a mock cycle, they require like a mini legal contract. So we'll do like a smaller version for a mock cycle. And then once that's done, my next cycle should be towards the end of this month. So we're hoping that all the legal and everything is done by then, so we can just fall into the mock cycle with this cycle of this month.
Are you, because I had a mock cycle, are you compensated for your mock cycle?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure, because you were like, it's a mini legal, and I'm like, hold up, you're supposed to be compensated for that. Okay.
Yep. So that's why because the clinic was like, we want to start like now. And my journey coordinator was like, hold on, like we got to do some type of legal work to make sure she's covered, they're covered, like everybody is covered. And I don't think that the clinic really knew that, because I don't know if that was new to them or they just automatically assumed that we were already into legal. But yeah, so she was like, hold on, so we already have the attorneys, they're already working on something, so we have it going in the background. But yeah, that was something new, because I was like, hold on, I was asking all the questions like, do I get compensated for this? Like, and I know that people are like, oh, you're just doing it for the money. No, that's not what it is. But when you're putting putting your body through all of this stuff, like, you want to make sure that you're covered, because anything can happen. And people don't realize that. And that was something when I was explaining to people, I was like, well, they have a life insurance policy on me. And they're like, oh, why? I'm like, well, because you don't know what can happen. Like,
seriously.
Like, kitty birth, like, you want to be covered. And if something happens to me, I want to make sure my husband and kids are okay, and that, they can take care of all the things that they need to. And it's so funny just seeing people's reactions to those things. They're like, well, why do you expect something to go bad? Well, no, you don't ever expect something to go bad, but you want to make sure you're covered if it does happen.
Correct.
And the intended parents are not the beneficiaries of that life insurance policy. It is whomever you designate, which is usually your partner, spouse, family, whomever. But and that's misconceived, or there's a misconception about that as well. Oh, why do they take life insurance? It's for me. It's for my family.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't realize that they have to carry it so long after you have the baby too.
Yes, they do.
So you're covered if anything were to come up. Because I was having a conversation with someone who had asked about it, and I was like, well, yeah, like, I think it's about the time where I need to call and make sure my life insurance policy and stuff is canceled. She was like, oh, how long do you keep it for? And I was like, well, it just depends on what you all, but like with our agency, it's a certain amount of time. Every agency might be different. But yeah, she was like, I would have never known or thought about having to have a life insurance policy. And I'm like, well, I didn't either until it was explained to me. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
A lot of sense.
So you canceled it and then got a new life insurance policy?
So I have my own through work, but once you timed out of like your postpartum, your 6 months postpartum, they have to drop theirs on us. So it's no longer, they're having to pay for my life insurance policy.
I kept paying the premiums for 15
years. Same. I still pay because it's a lot higher than what I would have got on my own. So like, I'll keep it.
Well, mine through work was amazing. So I was like, there's no point in me keeping this one.
Right.
I'm just going to drop it. And that was the thing that I had offered. I was like, well, I have a life insurance policy. Like, do they want to just reimburse for mine? And she was like, no, they want to have their own, which is fine. Like that.
Right.
That was on them. So I guess it kind of, exactly, 100%.
Yep.
And that's just like, you were asking about contracts earlier. I'm sorry, I'm going way back to the beginning.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
With this journey, something that I didn't think about, because again, my first journey was not international. I was talking to the parents, and they were like, we want to add into your contract that if we are in flight and something happens, medical emergency, you're not alert, you can't make decisions, we want that to default to your husband, because they knew of a couple who had a surrogate, and they were in flight coming from Ireland, I guess, to the States, and something happened and they couldn't get a hold of the parents. And so they were kind of in limbo of not knowing what to do. So to make sure that I was covered if that were to happen with us, they were like, we want it strictly put in your contract. Like, if they cannot get a hold of us and you cannot make your own decisions, your husband is to make every decision for you.
Love it.
So I was like, I said, I didn't even think about that, but I'm so grateful that you guys did and you're bringing it up, because that makes me feel so much better.
Oh God, yeah.
100%. Exactly. Yeah.
It's trying to dot those I's and cross those T's, and with an agency and with all of this stuff, it's usually everything's thought of, but I never would have thought of that one. Never.
No, and it's the smallest things, especially as a first time surrogate, going into your second one, you're like, okay, I probably should have put this in my contract the first time, but I didn't think about it. Or I really don't think I need that in my contract, but we'll just keep it in there. Right. You just learn so much going through and talking to other surrogates of stuff that you're like, that wasn't even in my contract. I probably should have put that in there.
Right. And that's just living and learning. And if you decide to do a third one, you'll learn something from this. Even if it goes perfectly, you'll be like, I think I should have added this or whatever. Like, it's just, I still learn, and I'm not currently a surrogate, and I'm just like, oh, look at all the things I should have done. Like, you just don't know until you know, and it's fine. That's what the podcast and all the information and the communities are out there for.
Yeah. Everything.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So, Lindsay, cool. What is some advice that you would give to someone who wants to be a surrogate?
Yes.
I would say go in with your gut, knowing what you want, and don't change it just to get a match.
Good for you.
There's a perfect match out there for you. And even if it takes a little longer, that's okay. But don't change your hard stops just to get that match, because you're going to end up hurt, disappointed, and it's just, you're going to regret it. I've seen it in our group that we have where surrogates change their mind and are like, I really should have not made that match, and I just did it because I got tired of waiting. And that's sad to see. And I have a few friends who've kind of done the quiz, and they're like, well, what's one thing that you would tell me? And that I tell that to everybody. Like, if you decide to do it, if you say from the very get-go, I want to have a family that wants to have a relationship even after birth.
Yeah.
Wait till you find that family who wants to have that relationship after birth.
Yeah.
If you want the family who you just want to have the baby and you don't want to know anything after the birth, wait for that family, because even though you don't get emotionally, or you try not to get emotionally attached, you can't fully not be attached in some way. And you're going to end up hurting yourself in the long run if you kind of go against your gut feeling.
Right.
That's great advice.
That's great advice. Stick to your gut. You know what you want. Don't let people, I think oftentimes what I've seen and what I've dealt with personally is people will try and talk you out of it because, this person has, like, one of my couples, the one that was not great. I was like, I really want to work with the same sex couple. This is my third journey. And they're like, well, their brother is gay. And I'm like, okay. And I was somehow still talked into it, but I was just like, okay, but it's just right. And I hope that's less common nowadays where people try to talk you out of it. But when I was searching for 2 years, I was trying to be talked out of a lot of things, and I was like, no, stick to your guns. It's totally fine. Like, I promise you they're out there. It just might take longer. You just have to be okay with that. Like, this is not an overnight thing. It sucks that it's not, but it's not.
Right. And I think a lot of people go into it, and I hate to say it, but this is a make some money really fast kind of thing. So it doesn't matter what I want. Right. You just give me the first person who comes to the door, and then you're at the end of it, you're left really, and I feel like that plays a lot into a lot of postpartum.
Yeah.
If you don't set, I went in with my mindset of, this baby is nothing of mine. This is no DNA to me. My husband, I want to grow a happy, healthy, safe baby. But at the end of the day, this baby is going home with this family, and I just need to make sure that this is a good family. And if they still want a relationship at the end of this, great. If they don't, great. I need you to be honest with what you want from the get-go with me, because I can't get myself, they do want a relationship, and then get to the end and they're like, okay, thanks for the baby, or we're done now. Or me going with the mindset of, I know that I can't have contact with you after this because it's going to be hard for me. And then at the end, you're like, we want you to know, we want you to come visit. We want,
right.
I feel like you have to know that from the beginning, and you have to make that very clear. And just don't budge.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I completely agree.
Great advice,
Transparency
and I
is
hope
key.
people take it to heart because it's great advice. Yes.
It is great. It is.
You'll be happy.
This was so lovely. I wish you the absolute best and all the sticky thoughts for your
sticky thoughts.
Journey.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure. You guys are so fun.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. You're great. This was fun. I hope you come back for your second journey story.
Yes, please. I would love to come back anytime you guys want me.
Oh, amazing. We always welcome.
I love Dublin parents to come on with you after they have to stay for a while. They have to stay.
Listen,
God, Mom.
So that is funny, and I'm sure they would, because she is already like, her mom is like ready to move over to North Carolina and be here for this whole journey, and I'm like, pump the brakes a little bit.
That's hilarious.
And she's just like, that's just how we are. Like, that's how our village is. And they said one thing to my husband on our Zoom call that made him laugh. And I'm like, I don't think they meant that like how we would say it. Because she was like, if we're in the living room and we're in y'all's way, just tell us to piss off and we'll just kind of like, and I was like, I don't think that means what that means. Okay, yeah, okay.
Nice. I love it.
Whatever.
So cute.
I love it. Oh my
But
gosh.
I'm sure they would love to. They are so open about their journey, and they are phenomenal. So yeah. While they're here, they'll be here for a month before while baby's passport gets here. So we'll have to come on with you guys.
Well, that
invitation's open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I will sneak it in there and let you guys know.
There you go.
Okay. Well, you have a beautiful journey.
Yes.
And we will
all the best.
We'll
Thank
follow
you so
you
much.
on your journey.
I
I hope it goes the way you dream of.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Oh,
yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, how fun.
Yeah. It's great. On our second journey. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love that.
I do. I think it's great. I
do. I just love the happy stories.
I mean,
I love
just
all
thinking
the stories.
That. I was
but
totally just thinking that. Yeah.
You know, it's great when maybe I'm just so I don't want to say cynical, but like just been through a lot and like have seen a lot. And like it's so great when a first time surrogate has such a beautiful journey and then they're like doing it again because like it was so wonderful. Yeah.
First time, because you don't know what you don't know. Like she was, and then boom, it all just kind of placed together.
Yeah.
So great advice from her too. Thank you, Lindsay. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Stick to your gut and stick to what you want, and you'll get it. You'll get it.
I couldn't agree more. Great advice. Wish somebody had told me that on my third journey, but it's fine. If anybody has any questions or stories that they would like to share, please feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Stop.Sit.Surrogate or at our email at Stop.Sit.Surrogate@gmail.com.
This has been another edition of Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Before we wrap up, we want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors: Northwest Surrogacy Center, New York Surrogacy Center, Paying It Forward Surrogacy. Their continued support helps us share real stories, educate our community, and connect families through the incredible journey of surrogacy. Thanks so much for tuning in to Stop.Sit.Surrogate, where every story matters and every journey is worth sharing. We'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Also, check out the link to our YouTube channel in the description. And be sure to also check out our children's book, My Mom Has Superpowers, sold on Amazon and Etsy.